What is going on, true believers? Welcome to another episode of One Shot. I am your host, Mr. J, and I know I was gone last week. I took a little day to myself. A lot of exciting things happened here in my hometown. Our science center had the Marvel exhibit, which had a lot of costumes and things from the movies in it. It went through the history of Marvel Comics. Absolutely fascinating exhibit. I loved every minute of it. But I know I've been gone for 2 weeks, so I've got a lot of books to go through. Lots of good things going on. This episode is going to be more of a showcase than a review section. And there's a ton to get through and a lot of exciting things at the end. So let me just hop right in it, shall we? Barbaric issue number 3. I know this is an older issue. I missed out on it. This was the end of the first volume, and I absolutely love this series. Classic sword and sorcery with a little twist. A blood-drinking axe who gets hammered on blood. Absolutely fantastic series. Loving every issue. Can't wait for volume 2. The Department of Truth, issue 16. This series has been fantastic. This issue was all kind of like LSD, trippy looking. The artwork was really great. You know, all psychedelic, kind of everything out of proportions. This series has been really good too. Getting a little more backstory. This is kind of like in the past more than it is in the present times. I have a theory about the woman in red, and I'm not gonna say anything yet, but I kind of want to see if what I'm thinking about her plays out. Step by Bloody Step, issue number 1. This is a new series. There is, I believe, absolutely no dialogue in this book. If somebody talks, it's just in like some type of unknown script, like we don't understand. All the storytelling in this book is done through the images. And it's this kind of primitive boy who wakes up and he has this iron giant knight, and he's just kind of trying to be a kid, and the knight is just fighting things all the time around him, protecting him. The artwork is fantastic. The storytelling just through images is amazing. Give it a shot. It's a different book and I like it. Dark Ages. This is, I can't remember what issue this was, but this series has been really good. I like how there is no technology in this book. It's a post-apocalyptic, just learning to survive. Equipment is steam powered sometimes, or they got to go back to the old methods for technology. This series has been absolutely phenomenal. This cover by Peach Momoko is fantastic. Silver Surfer Rebirth, issue number 2. Silver Surfer is kind of being jumped through different realities. They find out that somebody has the reality gem, and so now the Silver Surfer is having to kind of partner up with Thanos. Interesting concept. I'm super excited. It's been pretty good read so far, and I'm definitely excited to see the future of that book. Carnage Forever. It was an okay book. Not very memorable, but I always like a good Carnage book as long as they do him right. It's definitely very, very violent, very graphic in this book. which I'm happy to see because they don't always do that with Carnage, and especially like in the Spider-Man books. But this one is definitely geared more towards adults. Silk, issue number 2. Series is okay so far. Hasn't really gotten deep into anything yet. The artwork's still really good. There's a little cheesiness to it that, it's okay. You kind of have to expect that with a Marvel comic of this caliber, but at least it's not too super cheesy. But it's okay. I'll continue reading. Ghost Rider, issue number 1. Wow, this book, it's definitely geared towards the horror side of things for sure. Definitely a bit more graphic, kind of mind twisting a little bit. It's like, is he seeing things that are real, or is this the fake reality type thing? I loved it. I'm definitely ready for some more Ghost Rider, and if they keep doing the horror theme, I love the horror theme. I'm definitely on board. Berserker, issue number 7. So we're 7 issues deep. Not a whole lot of story, but the artwork and the action in this book is what keeps me going. Obviously, we're starting to slowly pick up. I think we're finally hitting that peak where something is about to break, and it's okay. It's been all right. I do enjoy the ultra violence action in this book. Could it have a little more story? Yeah. I love my Ben Reilly Spider-Man. This book, I believe it takes place before the continuity in the Amazing Spider-Man series, because he is still with the Beyond Corporation in this one, where in the Amazing Spider-Man series, I'm going to talk about both of these at the same time, he's kind of fighting against Beyond in this issue. So this one takes place before Peter Parker gets injured, and we're learning that the Beyond Corporation in this book is not only funding the heroes, but they're kind of funding the villains. So they're kind of like a weapons trading to both sides type thing. It's definitely an interesting thing. And in this one, the door, I believe, is they call it Door Z, is opening up, and there's something big inside, and we're about to find out what it is. But both of these books have been really good. I like the artwork in Amazing Spider-Man a little bit more, though. And the covers, the Ben Reilly covers, this is the B cover. I do not like the A covers at all. I do not like that style of artwork, period. Human Target, issue number 5. I absolutely love this series. The artwork is phenomenal. The storytelling is absolutely great. Each issue it's a whole day. He has 12 days to live. There's going to be 12 issues. We're learning more about his psychological profile, like why he got into the business of being the Human Target, and how he's kind of handling the idea of dying, and now he's starting to want to live. He's finding reasons that he wants to live. Absolutely great book. A nice little detective mystery. Beast Wars 13. I'm finally caught up on the series. I had been missing 1 or 2, and I just kind of stopped reading it, but I was still buying the others. I wound up picking up the others again, and now I'm all caught up. I love this series. It definitely hits that nostalgia feeling for the days of 90s cartoons for me. Watching Transformers Beast Wars on TV. Absolutely love this series. Moon Knight, issue number 9? 6? I can't remember. 9, I think. This cover's all topsy-turvy. This series has been pretty good. This issue got me more interested in it a little bit more, because there's kind of this entity that is a house. It's an evil house that lures people in, and Moon Knight's going through, and it touches his mind and absolutely hates him because of what's in his head. It can't handle him, so it spits him out. And we think that it's a bad thing, which it kind of is, but it's more of just a surviving entity. It feeds on people, but it has to just to survive. It's not doing it out of any type of malice, really. So Moon Knight, in the end of this one, kind of makes a deal with this house, and it's really interesting. I'm kind of excited to see what they do with that deal. But this series has been pretty good, and like I said, I'm ready to see where that one picks up and goes. She-Hulk, issue number 2. So the first issue was okay. They're just getting back into the swing of the old She-Hulk type of storytelling. This one, more of the same thing. There isn't really any action going on, but they're kind of explaining where some of these characters that are popping up have been, which is okay, because I don't know a lot about these characters to begin with. So learning a little bit more about where they've been and what they've been up to, that's fine by me. But it needs to pick up the pacing a little bit, and I think it's getting there, just judging by how this book went. Not bad read, not a fantastic read, but I don't hate it. I'm willing to learn more about She-Hulk. Devil's Reign, Spider-Man. So the Rose is back. A lot of people don't know who the Rose is. He was kind of a minor character in, I believe, the Web of Spider-Man series. The Rose is Wilson Fisk's son. And in this issue, it's in the Devil's Reign timeline, where Wilson Fisk is the mayor, getting rid of all the superheroes. The Rose is trying to take his place, and he believes he could do that by capturing and killing Spider-Man. This issue was really good. I thought it was definitely really good. Again, this is more of the Ben Reilly Spider-Man, and he's with the Beyond Corporation still in this issue. So I'm guessing the current run of Amazing Spider-Man, which is this one, and there's the Door Z that I was opening that I mentioned. I thought it was the last issue. But the Devil's Reign seems to be taking place before the Amazing Spider-Man in continuity. And again, this issue has been really good. I've been loving the Amazing Spider-Man run, period, ever since the last guy got off. And can't recommend it enough. It's definitely gonna go some places. A Righteous Thirst for Vengeance. These issues used to be more of storytelling told through the artwork, like that last book that I was talking about. This one had a lot more dialogue in it, and it didn't disrupt anything at all. I absolutely loved it. We're just following a guy who he may have been a killer at some point, like a hitman, but he just seems like he's really not all together with it anymore. He's nervous all the time, and but he still kind of knows what to do. This series has been really good. Just the way the story's been told, it's not that overconfident hitman. You know, he knows what he's doing. He knows what he needs to do, and he knows how everything's going to play out. This dude is just a guy who's he has no idea what's going to happen, but when it happens, he's kind of stumbling through it and still making his way out. It's been really good, and I don't think there's very many of these left. But man, I, I recommend when this comes out in a trade, definitely pick it up. Definitely. Robin, issue number 11. Um, I've been really enjoying the Robin series quite a bit. This issue, Robin is um, he's kind of investigating some things with a team that he's kind of put together, um, which is interesting because it definitely gets away from that Wayne style of doing things where you do everything alone. So Robin, Damian Wayne, is definitely growing um, in a more emotional way than Batman can. And I'm super happy that they're just not making another, you know, Batman like character. That he's his own persona, and they're definitely showcasing that through this book. The Nice House on the Lake. This is issue number 7. It's finally back. I kind of had forgotten what was happening, and I was a little lost when reading this book again. But it seems like we're starting to get somewhere. They're starting to organize a little bit more to figure out what's going on. They're seeing if they can, when they put a list out there of things they need, can they order parts, you know, order rooms for the house and things. They're trying to order an antenna to see if they can boost their cell phone signal. This story has been absolutely fantastic. It's like it gives you just enough to keep going and not ruin the plot. And because I have no idea what's going on, like what is this place? What is happening? But the story is just fantastic. James Tynion, better as an independent writer than he is working for the big two. He needs to just stay this format, or he needs to start writing novels because I think he'd be very, very good at that. The Blue Flame, issue number 7. I like this series. It's like nothing I've ever read before. It seems like we're following two personas of this character. One is his superhero persona, and one is his, you know, at home. His legs are kind of disabled persona, and he is trying to make a case for the human race so this alien conglomerate doesn't just wipe out all of Earth. And he's been doing a poor job of it so far, but he thinks he's got a way to stop it. And that's kind of where this book left off. And I'm so excited to see where this one goes, because it's not been your average superhero story. It's more of, I don't want to compare it to like Watchmen so much, but it's less based on the superhero aspect of things and more of the person underneath. Newburn, issue number 4. So Newburn, he got brought into the police He works for all the gangs in the city, and the police know that, and he uses the police to solve cases for the different families. And the police are pretty much a gang, of themselves. So they think that they can use New Bern to solve some cases, and he doesn't want to do it. He knows that if he starts working for the police, that the families aren't going to trust him anymore, and he is no longer safe. So he concocts a way to get out of this situation that he's in, um, and the police are not happy about it, but they kind of have to go along with it. So it's kind of an uneasy truce at this point. Arkham City, the Order of the World. This is 6 of 6, the last issue. And I thought this was the best issue out of them all. Professor Pig has kind of set up a mock Arkham, if you will, and he's treating patients, and it actually seems to be working a little bit. And one of the doctors that worked at Arkham is kind of working for him, kind of forced into it, but at the same time she's very interested because she sees the methods are kind of working. But it seems like Professor Pig is actually keeping her there as well as a prisoner, and doing an experiment on her, trying to make her perfect, like he does. This story was weird. It was off the wall. The artwork was kind of odd, made you feel uneasy. But I liked, in the end, I liked it. It was different. It was a Batman series without Batman in it. If that makes any sense. But I thought this book was probably the best one out of them all. I wouldn't go hunt them down individually. If you want to give it a read, this one is definitely not for everybody. Sorry about that. My camera died. Crossover. This book was absolutely fantastic. We finally figure out who's killing all of the comic book creators. And in this issue, Robert Kirkman, the creator of The Walking Dead, the creator of Invincible, he's being hunted by none other than, spoiler alert, Negan. His own created character has been hunting down comic book creators and killing them. The banter, the dialogue in this between creator and created, it's absolutely fantastic. We see Negan killing Robert Kirkman in the same way, with some of the similar dialogue that he killed Glenn in the Walking Dead series. And he says in the end, this is for making me kill Glenn in this, and I absolutely loved that. And the way that Donny Cates writes himself in this book, he's so self-aware that he's kind of a douchebag, and the way this book is just so meta. Absolutely loved it. Those of you who hopped off of this book so early, man, you're really missing out now, because this book was fantastic. Just like the cover shows, it's kind of mind-blowing how this series has evolved. Highly recommend hopping back on Crossover if you're not. Batman 121. We have Batman. We have Lex Luthor in Batman armor that he created. We have Abyss. And we have Batman Inc. Batman Inc. was currently working for the Abyss, and Lex Luthor and Batman have teamed up. Batman is blind in this issue, but he's able to see Lex Luthor for some reason. We later find out that Lex Luthor may have created Abyss to kind of be his own Batman, and that Batman Inc. was really not working for Abyss, but working to kind of infiltrate Abyss a little bit, and it winds up that Batman is able to defeat Abyss, obviously. Uh, as much as I love James Tynion, I'm so glad he's off of this series because he did not seem to be enjoying it. He was just phoning it in, and it has gotten a lot better since he's hopped off. Dark Knights of Steel, this is 5 of 12. Batman and Superman don't seem to be working together very well. Superman seems to be turning kind of evil, it seems. Winds up betraying Bruce and leaving him for dead. But he is found by the Kents and taken to be healed. This series has absolutely been great. I love the theme of being, medieval times. I know it's been done before, but done well is not exactly something I see done very often, and this one is done very well. Nocterra issue number 8. This series has been pretty hit or miss. This issue was pretty good. Blacktop Bill is going around killing all the outposts, thinking that he can kind of appease whatever this dark god thing is. He winds up talking to it, finding out its plan, and realizes it wants nothing to do with him, so he needs to team up with the Sundogs to save the world. What a twist. The absolute madman bad guy now having to work with our heroes. I mean, I'm absolutely excited to see what happens. Again, this series has been pretty up and down, but this one was definitely really good. Rogue Sun, issue number 1. I'm not familiar with this character, so I don't know if this is a new appearance, but they make it seem like there was a character already out there. That character, the Rogue Sun, he dies, and his powers have now been passed down to his son, as well as his Rogues Gallery, and the Rogues Gallery is now finding out that the Rogue Son that they knew is actually dead, and this is a new one. So it's pretty interesting. Not saying there's anything super original about it yet, but it could be a good read. Definitely pick it up. Shadow Man. Wow, this book, I love the artwork in this book. It's just so well done. The horror aspect of it, it's there. It grips me. If you like horror, this is a good run to get. Shadow Man, the story has been pretty good. He's trying to stop the darkness from creeping into Earth. The Dead Zone wants to come here. But if they come here, then they're just going to make this the Dead Zone. And Shadow Man's trying to broker deals with the dead. And there's people that are just standing in his way. And he got kind of hurt in this book by somebody. But this series has been really good. I'm happy I hopped on it. I'm glad that there's a Valiant Comics book that I can enjoy. We Ride Titans number 2. This woman in issue 1, she turns out her family are the ones that ride the Titans that fight the kaiju. She has nothing to do with it. Her brother gets in a bit of a PR nightmare where he was driving a Titan while drunk. So they're pulling him off, and they want her to ride the Titans again. She does it reluctantly, but she's still doing it, and now she's just trying to, find her place again in the family. It seems they're trying to figure some things out. But at the end of this issue, there's another Titan. Nobody knows who it is, where it came from, or who's driving it, if anybody is driving it. And she's having to get in a fight with this Titan. This book is pretty decent. It's not all about the kaiju fighting. That kind of seems to be, so far anyway, the backstory behind it, and it's definitely more about the drivers. What if Miles Morales became Captain America? This book was mediocre to me. I wasn't a fan of the dialogue in it. The artwork was good. It was just kind of blah to me. They're just opening up another multiverse of where what if Miles Morales is, it seems like they're doing all the ones that Dr. Octopus, of all things, did. Wolverine, the Hulk, stuff like that. It's okay. I mean, I'll read the other issues, but this was nothing spectacular. Daredevil, Woman Without Fear. This was the last one, I believe. Her fight with Kraven, proving who is the better fighter, but it's all circumstantial. Yes, he can fight, he can hunt and everything, but she is a ninja. So when she's in her element, she is the predator, not the prey. I thought this series was pretty good. They're opening it up to a group called the Fist and whatnot. Some former contacts that she's had before. It's been pretty good. I believe they're going to put her in the new Savage Avengers, so that'll be interesting to see. Alien issue 10. So we're back in a... This issue was definitely one of the higher issues. They're making their way to all these other outposts to find them already destroyed. And one of their members in their group is looking for somebody specific and goes running off into the mines where, guess what? There's a hive there. And so they're all following him into the mines. And obviously it's not going to go well for a lot of them. But it's been an okay. The first set of these books was pretty good. This is a different character, a different story arc. It's okay. It's not my favorite one so far. Star Wars: The High Republic, Eye of the Storm. The first issue I enjoyed a lot more than this one. This one was very boring to me. I found myself skimming it more than anything, and I don't feel like I missed anything. It was more like the prequels in the fact where there's a lot more politics involved, and it just did not hit for me at all. Towards the end of the book, it started picking up, but I didn't feel this issue didn't do enough for me. I don't know if I'll be picking up another. We'll see. I may give it one more. And Strange. This is, I can't remember her name, but it's Doctor Strange's wife, becoming the Sorcerer Supreme and kind of learning what that means. She's offered her protection to certain zones now. Dr. Doom came in demanding that she basically give him the Sorcerer Supreme title. She said no. And Doom storms off. Obviously, that's not going to be the last we see of him. But I thought this was pretty good. She's a different Doctor, well, she's not Doctor Strange. She's just Strange. But she is a lot more violent, a lot less caring about whether she kills somebody or not, as opposed to Doctor Strange was. So I'm kind of interested to see what she does with this title, Sorcerer Supreme. And just want to showcase a few of the books that I got in the mail here. First of all, let me pick up this bad boy. I did pick up the Volume 2 Omnibus of the Amazing Spider-Man series. So now I have 1 through, what is this? 67, a couple annuals and Spectacular Spider-Man in there. I got Secret Wars 2, but I got 1 through 7, I believe. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. I don't know if I'm showcasing those properly. I believe there's a 9. It's a 9-issue run. Then I have my Del Auto Amazing Spider-Man 88 set, which is, there's one of them. That's the trade variant. And the Virgin variant. Thought that was really cool. He did another one that I liked even better than this one right after this, and I was so upset that I didn't order it. I've got the Web of Spider-Man 96. I thought that cover art was pretty good. The guy that packaged this terribly. If you sell comics and you package things with a tiny board and in a paper envelope, shame on you. That's what this person did. I'm surprised this did not come as more damage than it did. There was a light corner crease on it. What if Peter Parker became the Punisher? This is the first appearance, and probably only appearance, I think, of Peter Parker as the Punisher. I thought that was really cool. I love that cover. It's an homage cover to, I think, a Punisher #1 somewhere. And you know I love my Nakayama variants. I have the Department of Truth, the Red Woman. That's absolutely beautiful cover. Love, love, love it. It's just absolutely gorgeous. And then I believe this is X-Men 3. This is X-23, done by Nakayama. And last but certainly not least, the Amazing Spider-Man 361, the first full appearance of Carnage. And it's a beautiful, beautiful issue. Like, it looks pristine. There's no spine ticks on it whatsoever. I don't even know if this book has been read. And it's the barcoded. What do they call it? I'm blanking on the name. But man, this is definitely, I think, grade worthy. I haven't even opened it. I'm scared to open it and touch it like that. I'm going to ruin it. It's so beautiful. I might have it graded. We will find out. But thanks for stopping by. Drop down below. Leave me a like. Leave me a comment. Tell me what you're reading. I know this was a massive list. Tell me which issues you liked and what you liked about them. Let's start a discussion. Join us next week. I should be doing this next week and not taking another break. And stop by and say hi. And as always, have a good day.